Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the meeting which Rishi Sunak had with his backbenchers yesterday evening, which you might imagine went well for him given the reports of cheering and desk banging, but various commentators have already been adding a little bit of ominous context. Was Sunak facing the drums of Tory battle, and if so, does he realise? But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So meetings with the 1922 Committee of Conservative Backbenchers are private, of course, but journalists tend to hang around in the corridors to listen to what they can and ask questions when MPs go in and come out. There were reports that there was a full minute of desk banging for Sunak. Now, this is generally a sign of support. It's the noise of approval. So very much sounding like Tory MPs have decided that replacing their leader at this point is a non-starter, and they're trying to make it clear to their more rebellious colleagues there is no appetite for a change of leader, so you should drop your briefing wars, stop your bickering, swing behind the leader, and let's all unite for the election, right? Only there's a small problem with this assessment. So it was immediately pointed out that, for example, Liz Truss held a meeting with the 1922 committee on October 12, 2022, where she received a chorus of desk banging. She was given the tap on the shoulder just over a week later. Boris Johnson was the recipient of said desk banging at a 1922 meeting in June 2022, and he had the tap on the shoulder a month later. And Theresa May got the same treatment, and although it was half a year later that she ended up having to resign, she did end up with a confidence vote just weeks after the desk banging serenade. So it would seem that Sunak is not quite out of the woods, and Sunak is much more like Theresa May in terms of the position he finds himself in, where a confidence vote is possible. The rules technically protected Johnson at the time because he'd already faced one, and Truss, who'd only just been made Tory leader. So we wouldn't expect a tap on the shoulder as such, but Sunak could face a confidence vote, which even if he wins it, will allow Labour to claim he does not have the confidence of a majority of MPs. Next Tuesday, the House of Commons goes into recess for Easter. They return on April the 15th and 3.5 weeks before crucial local elections. So if we work on the principle that the desk banging is not so much the show of support that it's normally regarded as, but a warning, you're in trouble here, Sunak, you want to watch you tread a little bit carefully, then maybe the trigger will be a May 3rd, when the local and mayoral election results are revealed. Sunak apparently told his MPs at the meeting that they are in the fight of their lives. He said, "This battle will define us. When the going got tough, when the polls were against us, did we dig deep and fight, or did we turn in on ourselves?" The standard appeal for unity from a leader who is sinking, but I feel it would have more weight if Sunak could credibly claim to be digging deep himself. But maybe Tory MPs just don't see what's going on. A few days ago, Tim Montgomery, who's a prominent Tory activist, was being interviewed and said he didn't know what Sunak wanted to be Prime Minister for. Now, I made no secret of the fact that at the point he became Prime Minister, neither did I. There were so many reasons. I wondered if it was just the place in the history books, the first non-white Prime Minister. But given that he hardly ever mentions this aspect of his premiership, I don't think so. Was it because he's politically driven? No, that makes no sense. He doesn't understand the first thing about politics, not even the basics. And there is absolutely nothing in his time as either Chancellor or Prime Minister that is actually implemented and you would go, oh yeah, that's part of Rishi Sunak's political philosophy. What he wanted to do in politics, what he came into politics to achieve. He hasn't done anything. So it can only be to make himself wealthier because he's done plenty of that. If you look at what he's actually done in both number 11 and number 10 Downing Street, every time a budget is announced or public money is being spent, somehow benefits his household, doesn't it? Every single time. It just seems so blatant to me that I don't understand how other Conservatives don't see it. There's nothing sly about Sunak, and there's certainly nothing political about him. But maybe this is the problem when someone like Sunak is on your side, because you saw him as a political leader and now he's really bad at it. You don't see what he's really up to because you can't accept that someone on your own side would be doing this. So we have a situation where even Conservatives capable of independent thought simply can't make sense of the world they're living in now. They know Sunak is truly awful as a political leader, but they can't work out why or why he wants to be doing it. So maybe they still believe that Sunak is not up to the job, but is at least trying, to which I would ask, where's the evidence he's ever tried to do anything to help his party? He's never out and about campaigning in the 48 hours leading up to either local or by-elections. He's not moved the polls an inch towards Labour. In fact, the latest poll from YouGov is disastrous for them. Recently, Ipsos produced a result that was the lowest level of support for the Tories since they began in 1978. Now YouGov, the other of the main two provably most reliable pollsters, has found the same. Using the electoral calculus MRP calculator, it would give the Tories just 36 seats and the Lib Dems 49, which would mean the Lib Dems would be leading the opposition. And this is the trap the Tories are in now, of their own making. They seem to have decided that they can't call an election with the polls like this, so they have to hope that something turns up over the summer. They think that the lower inflation and subsequent interest rate cuts will save them. They won't. I don't even know that it will help them. Think about it. The Tories keep treating lower inflation as if it means lower prices, but it doesn't. It means the prices still go up, just not as much. So by pretending inflation means something different, all they're doing is getting struggling households feel like they're missing out on this. They're abandoned. As for the lower interest rates, so it will reduce the amount by which new fixed rate payments go up, but they'll still be going up. So let's say the interest rates come down next month or May, something like that. So someone's fixed rate comes to an end in, say, June. The new payment that they will be given will be lower than it would have been if those interest rates hadn't come down. Probably, again, it's up to mortgage lenders exactly how they deal with Bank of England interest rates, but it'll probably be down a little bit. It's still going to be a lot higher than it has been, though, because the interest rates are still going to be much higher than the last time they fixed their rate. So people will just see their mortgage bills going up. And it's not just the fact that they see it going up. They know that they have to find that money in their household budget because they're struggling, right? And with each passing month, more and more people are finding their mortgages more expensive, and the cost of living crisis has not gone away. It's not like, oh, we'll just have to stop putting so much into our savings. It's like, no, we're going to have to cut back even more now. Then you think about the March of Reform UK. Now we have to talk about these a bit more detail later. Tories are terrified of Reform UK actually now overtaking their share of the vote. For the record, I don't believe that will happen, but I can't be sure. But many Tory MPs are in a blind panic about this now. So what do they think will happen to deal with it? Do they think the Rwanda plan will help them? The House of Lords voted to put a load of amendments back in yesterday, so it is not going to pass into law before the Easter recess. Will it ever? Will the Lords be prepared to keep adding amendments no matter how many times it's returned? In fact, I gather Tory MPs have been put on a one-line whip now. What that means is they don't actually need to be in Parliament. The Tory leadership said, there's no more major votes coming up till after Easter. Go and do what you like. A sign that the government aren't going to hold any votes where they give a shit about the result. And the leadership is probably hoping MPs all go back to their constituencies early to stop them plotting in the tea rooms. But the Rwanda plan is a lose-lose for the Tories no matter what. Let us say that the Lords keep putting these amendments in and Sunak keeps rejecting them, so the bill never passes into law. Yes, they can whine at Labour peers, whatever. It's still not getting passed and they are left making excuses which Reform UK will claim they have an answer for. Then let's say the bill is passed. The Lords goes, OK, we've tried to talk sense into you. You're not listening, whatever, do what you like. The bill is passed and then it does nothing to channel crossing numbers, which of course it won't. Then they still give Reform UK the initiative. I don't see how either outcome helps the Tories stem the loss of votes to Tice's outfit. Like, if they blame Labour, how does that stop them losing votes to Reform UK? Reform UK are already hailing the fact that a top pollster has them just 4 points behind the Tories now. How on earth do Tory MPs think this gets better by waiting? But maybe they think it will. Maybe they think the Rwanda plan will do something, politically at least, in their favour. Maybe they're falling for the headlines about the positive benefits of lower inflation and probable interest rate cuts. Maybe they're going to think that things will improve over summer and so will price in the devastating local election losses. They'll just put their heads down, charge through to autumn And what will happen if the polls are still showing the hot mess for them that is now? What if it's even worse? What if Reform UK are polling at pretty much the same level as the Tories? Because as difficult as it is to believe that the Tories could lose even more support, it's worth remembering the Tories have never been this bad at politics as they have in the past few years. Even the most successful political party, probably in world history, can still come unstuck if they do not even get the basics right. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.